Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get started in a moment with this tutorial series for the FPS Engine. Alright, here we go. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, in the live comments. Before we get started here in just a moment, I would like to introduce the series of how this is going to work. If you ever watched my live tutorial series, or you watched like the Unity Asset Store one, the one for VR chat, this is essentially almost the same, except you're making an actual video game. So let me introduce to you the asset that we are going to be learning about today. We are going to be talking about the Cowsins FPS engine made by Cowsins. It allows you to make your very own FPS game in Unity. Okay, so FPS like Call of Duty or those FPS games that you normally would see on the Steam Marketplace. For this series, we'll be focusing on the beginner aspect of making your own game, as well as um, the drag and drop elements, as well as getting your game to be playable by others. We will be coding in this series. We will be doing some coding in this series as well for FPS Engine. So do keep that in mind that unlike the VR chat road development one, there will be more coding involved in this one because we're actually making a game and not a environment. We are making an environment for the game today, essentially. You also need you also need some type of weapon pack. That is because in this engine you are allowed to create custom weapons, and I have selected the low poly FPS weapons pack volume 2 made by Just Create. If you like a link to this it's in already in the description below. So make sure you guys check that out. You also will need an environment. Now for this, I have selected the apartment kit from Brick Project Studio. You guys know about this asset. I have used this in multiple VR chat worlds. So, but this time it is for a video game. You can also search up for other environments if you wish. You do not need to use the apartment every time. You just need something that you can stand on and you can play an FPS game on. It does not have to be an apartment. It does not have to be a house. It can be a park or something that your character can stand on when you are playing this. It can be the Desert Village houses one. It can be anything. Just make sure it's something where you can play, like a playground. All right. So that is the basic things you will need. In addition to this, if you are interested, Cowsins now has an Inventory Pro add-on along with the FPS Save and Load add-on. If you guys are interested in having an inventory system, once I have enough to do it, then I'm going to add it to the lesson plan. We are going to be using the Inventory Pro plus this. There is an asset pack for that. So we're going to be doing that throughout the series. And now let's get started. You also need one other thing, and that is Unity 6, preferably Unity 6 because it is the latest one, especially if we're going to be doing another asset pack like the one featuring zombies. That's going to be required because it is multiplayer compatible. So, in order to get started, make sure you have a brand new project. I'm going to start this from the beginning now. So, because this is very important. So you go to your Unity hub. You're going to make a new project, and we're going to title it We're gonna title this. It's a 3D project. We're gonna title this FPS Engine C Cowsins Trial, whatever you want to call it. Make sure it's 3D because this is a 3D project. Make sure you know your location and all that good stuff. Create project. The reason why I want to go through this step um is because the way you have to import this project is a little bit different. It's not like, oh, you can just drag and drop it. You may have noticed that I went down to 2022.3. It is going to work in 2022.3, but let's say we're going to do a multiplayer video game. You actually have to have the latest version of Unity because in Unity 6, they added the ability for you to test out multiplayer inside of the editor. So once we get into like multiplayer aspect or something like that, we're going to talk about Unity 6. Okay, we're going to save that for that day. So when your Unity finally decides to load, you're going to be able to import the asset. Please take please be very please note that it will take some time for the asset to um to be brought in to the project, and that is because there is a lot in the asset pack because you're dealing with animations, you're dealing with scripts. So once everything decides to load, we'll be good to go. Let me reload this. Oh, never mind, it's going. It's decided to finally go. Now, do you really need Unity 6 to do this? No, but it's recommended that you start going with the latest version of Unity, especially if you're going to try to make a multiplayer game. That is all I'm saying. If you have any questions, let me know. I can answer the basics now because once we get into Unity, we're gonna start getting into like the whole what is inside of the asset pack and what to expect in like when doing this when doing the asset. I will open up the floor for that. Also, there are two player controllers in this asset pack that I need to refer to talk about because there are two ways that movement works in this. So let's say Unity is finally loaded, and we are going to go ahead and install some packages, including the FPS engine, and we're also going to import a built-in Unity asset called Pro Builder to help us make the environment more easier than just guess and check. If you watch my the tutorial on VR chat world development, this is basically the same thing, just that you're actually making a video game. So, and under the package manager, go to this one. It goes to my assets. Keep in mind that the asset for the FPS engine is not free. It is $30. I already bought it a while back. So this is the one from Cowsins. We're going to import this puppy and we're going to import it. When we import this, it's going to say saving and it's going to say this install and upgrade. So there is going to be a lot. And I want to talk about when we get into it, we're going to talk about how to make your first like level in this. The level making part or the environment making part is as if it was like a VR chat world development tutorial, except you're gonna have to make an environment that is for an FPS engine, an FPS game. So let it load. Once it loads, we can continue. And if you want to follow along, feel free to do so. Keep in mind, it is a $30 asset if you wish to follow along. And of course, if you want to follow along after you purchase the asset or later down the line, that is fine. Press yes on this one. It's going to install some backend that we need for the thing. And as you guys can see, import Unity package. Actually, it's going to install the backend. So it's going to restart the editor. And then we're going to be able to install Mr. FPS Engine. So this is the way you have this is the way I learned it to install the engine. Okay, when making a game like this, try your best not to make it too big of a game. For this, I'm just teaching you guys the basics, literal basics here. We will be programming some stuff though later on in the live tutorial series. So go back to FPS Engine, press import, press import. Once once it does this thing again, press install upgrade, and then you're gonna see this. When you see this, press next, and then press import. Then you're gonna get another warning message, I believe. You're gonna get another warning about about some files that might be needed to be upgraded down the line. Press yes, and for other files found later. That's gonna be important because you're gonna need this for other parts of the project. Once we finally get into this step, we can finally get started. And I want to show you guys what is available in this asset pack. So, so next we're going to take a look at drag and drop elements as well as building the environment. And then at the end, I'm going to show you guys how to add your very first level into the main menu of the asset pack. Now for this, we are going to use prototype material. We're not going to be using an environment yet. We're going to save that for when we start making an actual level, which is going to be in our next episode. Today, we're just going to play around with what we got. So, now that we are in, before we get started with anything else, we're going to go back to Package Manager. Under Packages, go to Unity Registry, and then on the search bar, look for Pro Builder. This is the one for the making it easier to draw shapes and sizes. This is going to make it easier because we can start prototyping what we want to have in our little level. Okay, so that is what game developers do. They use Pro Builder to make a prototype area so that when they make models or purchase models for like from the asset store, we can determine what the level is going to be about. Okay. Once this is installed, we can finally start like prototyping. We're gonna make the environment first though before we do any added stuff so that we can start with the environment. So what we need to do first is we're gonna do a scene. We're gonna go to Cowsins folder. We're going to go to demo. We're gonna right click on the empty spot here. We're going to go ahead and create a scene, and we're gonna title this test level. Please do keep in mind that this does matter of how you type it out. So we're gonna do a test level. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to open Window. We're going to go to Pro Builder. Pro Builder. No, excuse me, Tools Pro Builder Window. And then we're going to drag this here so that it's easier for us to grab. We are going to go ahead and go ahead here. We're going to right click. We're going to create an empty game object. We're going to call this environment or level or whatever we want to call it. Then we're going to do it again. We're going to create an empty object. We're going to say system. I'll explain what that is for in a moment. Under level, we're going to go ahead and make another empty game object. We're going to go with the name um, environment. And then we are going to go to the Pro Builder window and we're going to make a new shape. We'll just click new shape and we are going to make a cube. We're going to make a cube here. And then we're going to left click, hold left click under that. Go to environment. And we're going to scale it. We're going to resize this like this. Okay. We're gonna make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more bigger, so we have some space to play with. Then we're gonna right click, we're gonna Control C, Control V, copy and paste, and then we're going to rotate it so that we can cover the space from the sun or from the light. Excuse me, so that we know what we're looking at when we actually start putting the drag and drop element into the scene of today's video, today's lesson here. Now, don't worry on this particular stream about like, oh, I have to be perfect with everything. Not for today, because our goal here today is to show you guys the basics of the asset. I have to make an environment so that you know, hey, we're making an environment. I'm gonna copy this and rotate it to make it like the roof. Now, this is to make it easier to see what we are doing when we are inside of the level. So there you go. Now it's a little bit more darker so that we guys can see what we are doing. So now that we have this, we're going to control save. And then we're going to start adding from Cowsins. So here's what we need to do. We go to assets, we go to Cowsins, or we go to prefabs. And then we have the stuff that we need to get started. So in order to get started properly, we're going to go to player controller. And there are two player controllers here in this asset. We have the Cowsins FPS controller and a movement controller. Now, the reason why this is important is because Cowsins added wall jumping and wall bound as part of this asset pack. We are going to drag the movement one into our scene. So you're going to see this TMP importer. Please do import TMP essentials and import TMP examples and extras. That is because by rule, this is for text element. This is for the text element. Give me one quick moment. Gotta check out one thing. Make sure my okay. Okay, we're good. So once you import all that, we're good to go. Now movement controller, what is this for? Basically, this allows you to play the game. This is literally a movement controller where it allows you to play the game. Now keep in mind, make sure that the controller itself is above ground. That is very important. That is, it is above ground. Let me just make sure that yes, it is above ground. We should be good. Now, control save. Now we can play. We're gonna drag this to the system um prefab empty game object that we made so that we know it's system. We're gonna press the play button. And now we actually can move in the level. Hold on one. Actually, I probably made it a little bit too low. Let me try this again. Or hold on. Oh, there are two audio listeners. That's why. But let's see what's the other one. There are two audio listeners. I'm supposed to have only one. Let me see if that actually works. Okay, so now we can actually play. So I took out the main camera because you have a camera with the asset already with the movement camera. So now we can do the double jump. Oops, I forgot to close that. That's not good. We can do the double jump. We can do the wall bouncing and all that, and you're on your way. Now I will tell you, they are saying there's no event system. We're gonna create a new empty game object. Okay, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna title it as an event system. Actually, you know what we can do? Go save. Go to assets. Go to Cowsins. Go to scenes. Go to demo. Go to main. Go to main menu. I am going to just copy the event system. That's it. That's all I have to do. Now I just have to complain. Hold on one moment. Why did not? Oh wait, hold on. Why did it not save? Okay, give me one moment. Oh, it's right here. That's why. Event system, control save, press play, and now we can play. No error. Okay, so we're gonna exit that. I'm gonna copy this. Go to Cowsin, demo. Go control V. We're gonna call this. To remove this, we're gonna call this test level. Okay. Now, now let's get into it. Let's really get some fun. We are now going to make the environment. So I'm going to use Pro Builder. We're going to use new shape. We're going to make a cube. We're just going to make random cube because now we get to actually like play, like make an environment, like a test environment. Okay. So I made three cubes. We're going to put that in our environment category. Awesome. Now that we got those three cubes, let's go to Cowsin. We're going to go to prefabs. Now we're going to have some fun. We are now going to go ahead and start adding weapons. But first, go to drag and drop. We're going to go to preset, and we are going to add an SMG. So this is now, we're going to go ahead and make a new game object. We're going to call this weapon pickup. And then we're going to drag our SMG pickupable and put it under that. Then we're going to put our DMG SMG pickupable, and we're going to put it somewhere where we can grab a SMG. Now, this is the default that's given by Mr. Cowsins. We are going to learn, you are going to learn how to actually get your own weapons from other assets in our next few episodes from now. So now that we have that, let's play again. Let's press the play button, and we're gonna go to that. Oh, I think I made it too high. Yeah, I made it way too high. Okay, that is this block right here. So that's why you test stuff. There we go. And then we are going to get this pick upable, and we're gonna go down. We're gonna drag it down to where we can pick up the weapon. Save that. Press play. And ta-da! There's our SMG. Hold the and then to shoot, press the left click. That's how you do it. Now, if there's no audio coming out, that's because I disabled the audio. So you jump here and you do that. Awesome stuff. So first play, we're going to exit now. So your first step was to add the weapon. Now we are going to add some more stuff. We are going to add target. So we are going to go ahead and make another game object. We're going to call target. And then for this one, we are going to go to drag and drop extra. We're going to go to prefabs again, actually. We're going to go to, let's go to others. Oh, not others, excuse me. Let's go to models, training target right here. That is how it looks like, okay? We are going to place these around the map, like so. We're going to place these around the map. So Control C and D, copy and paste. Uh, put this guy over here. Copy and paste. Put this guy over here. Right around here. Let's rotate him a little bit so that he's looking like he's leaning. And then we're going to put him a little bit skewed. So like you lean in Call of Duty, you see them do this. And then we're going to put him behind this wall. Let me see. Yes. Okay, good. So we're going to do that. So he's speaking behind the wall. And we're going to do this again, but we're going to do it on the other side. We're going to drag and drop. We're going to put this guy, we're going to rotate this guy right here. We're going to rotate him this way. But he's speaking to the right. So we're going to go this way. And I'm going to move him just a little bit more. Awesome. Nice. He's touching. So he's speaking. This guy is speaking. And it's coming from this side of the wall. All right. Now, we can actually manipulate the target. Here's how. So, under inspector, you're going to notice two things here. We're going to go to, we're going to use the training target 1, for example. Here's how this works. We're going to use the enemy status sliders underneath this guy. We're going to take a look at some of the numbers. We just make sure that we can check this out. So because this has a time to revive event. So time to revive will deal with how long does it stay down. So if I say 10, this is going to be time to revive in seconds. Okay. Then you have this guy right here. So each target can be manipulated for max health and max shield. Now, if you select destroy on die, that means that thing ain't coming back. So do keep that in mind. You can also give the target a name. Let's say hi. The name is hi. What's up, hi? Control save. We're gonna press play. We're gonna manipulate some numbers in our next play segment. I believe it is this. Ooh, way too high. I'm gonna fix that. So we're gonna take up our MP5. You see the bar go down, and as you guys can see on the kill feed, you killed high because you named them high. Okay, and then the time to revive was about 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I miscounted. Yeah, I miscounted by a little bit, but it is 10 seconds. Okay, so that is how you manipulate um like names and stuff. Let's go ahead and manipulate some more numbers. Let's say that this guy, High, has 15 health, but the shield is 10. Control save. We'll get press play. Now this guy, High, could be harder to kill or harder to take down. Control save. Press play button. Okay, now we're gonna grab our MP5 again. It's this guy right here. You see how it's slower? Oh, I don't have any more ammo. That's okay. So, what do we do now? Where's my knife? I forgot the button for the knife. I know it's one of these, but you get my point. So, we manipulated this target. Now, after manipulating targets, we can now light up this place. We're going to go ahead and grab a random light. We're going to right click light directional. Oh, gross. Okay, directional light. We are going to go ahead and put the size to 1. Actually, no, let's do this as a point light, actually. The range is going to be 15. The intensity is going to be 20. Okay? So we have light. Now right here, like a little spotlight action, you can do that. Try your best when making your own game not to do too much in this area because it's way too bright. So you want to go high a little bit. Okay. So now we have like a little spotlight effect. Just by doing that, we're gonna move it a little bit more this way so we can highlight Mr. High. We're gonna move him, move this light toward this area. We're gonna move to the right a little bit. Okay, we're gonna drag it right around there. Move him here. Move this here. Move this here. Okay, that's a little bit too bright for Mr. High. There we go. So you see the radius right here. So this is the middle. The radius we put for that light was, let me see what we got here. 15. All right. So the intensity was 20. So if we play this, again, let me just make sure of my FPS, my SMG, because we did not have, I do not think we had infinite ammo. Like, of something here. And we're gonna be talking about how to make your weapon um down the line in another episode later down the line. But for this one, we're going to be focused more on how to like start using it and all that good stuff. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Control save this. Let's play so that we can see the environment. And ta-da! There's our little light that we have for Mr. High. I am trying to find that knife button just in case. Okay, it is letter H. It is letter F on this one. Okay, letter F. I don't like that letter, but whatever. It is the way the game is. Anyway, let's go to here. Let's grab our Mr. M5. There we go. Ta-da! Now you say 1.5 and all that. I'm gonna show you guys how to manipulate that in a bit. So now that we have our little environment and our little level, now I want to show you guys how to add your level to the main menu. So we can control save. We are going to go back to assets, Cowsins, demo, main menu. The first thing we're going to be doing before we do anything is we're going to hold control shift and letter B as in banana. And we are going to see this. We're going to add open scene, or we're going to drag open scenes. We're going to open up, um, we're going to open up our scene. So Cowsins, demo, test level. All right. We're not going to build it, but we need to have this here because when we put the menu into the level into the menu, it needs to recognize that hey, this is a scene that's a level. So let's go ahead and take a look at the main menu UI, and we're gonna see that we have our menu selection. The most important thing is under the main menu UI, we're gonna select that menu. The arrow, we're gonna go to content container. We're going to go to main menu, and then we are going to header. We're going to home tab. You're going to notice that we have two items in the home tab of the main menu hub home tab. So what we need to do is we're going to copy and paste one of them and then replace it with our new test level. To do that, select either one, movement or training. We're going to copy and paste. We're going to rename this to test level. The excuse me. The next thing we are gonna do is we're going to move our new thing to the next section right there. Then under test level, we're gonna go to background, title background. We're going to press the left arrow. We're gonna go to title, and we're gonna title it test level. And as you guys can see, the text is shown right there. For the background, you have to have a source image, and for that we're going to take a look at that another time. But the source image is basically what's the level like a thumbnail for the level. That's how you want to take a look at it. So this is test level and all that good stuff. Now this is not going to work on its own. Then you have to go to select the thing we just made, the selection button test level. On your right side, you're going to notice a scene to load. Press the plus button and type in the name of the level that you have selected and created. In our case, test level. We can control save. Okay, now we are going to play, but we are going to play from the main menu. Let me just grab a water break. Now, this you can actually change on your own, but we're not going to do that today. So we're going to press anywhere to start, and as you guys can see, if we scroll here, we have our brand new level. We have our test level. And then we're going to select it, and ta-da, we're in our test level, albeit I do need to change it because it's not the right one. Yeah, that was not the right one. So hold on. Let me go ahead and grab the right one here. Let me see if that was the right one because it's showing sample. Oh, they're not open. They're not added. Hold on. No, this is the right one. Unless we forgot to add the stuff here. No, yeah, this is the right one. But so I just showed you how to add the level. But I forgot that we have this in here. I believe the one we were working with is in it's in here. Sample scene. Let me add this really fast. Okay, so control save. Go back to main menu. Let's go back to main menu under demo, and then let's try again. I forgot to add it to the scene selecting. There it is. Now we are playing our level. And all the things we just did, manipulated, is right here. Nice. He's still. Now, but there is more to go over. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to our little level here. Copy this. Demo. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the rest of the asset a little bit. And then next time, we're going to start adding customized stuff. And then we're going to add adjectives. That one will start the whole programming aspect of this series. To Cowsins, we're going to go to prefabs. And I would like to present to you what other things we can play with. For example, we have the drag and drop section. We have the following. So we have a coin, and I'm going to show you guys how this works. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an explosive barrel to this side right here. What we're going to do is we're going to go right click. We're going to create an empty game object, and we're going to title it. We're going to title this stuff. Okay. We're going to put this. We're going to also put this stuff under level, and we're also going to put environment the target, the environment, as well as the weapon pickups under level. The reason for this is to make it more organized. So now that we have this barrel, we're going to try to attack this guy right down here. With the barrel, we're going to hit the barrel and hopefully it explodes. Then we're going to add, let's add this guy, the turret. Now this guy is responsible for stopping you. And here's how this works. So the turret has a few things to talk about. So let's go ahead and talk about the turret. We're going to go ahead and put the turret up like this. We're going to rotate this over here. And you see this red circle? That is called the radius or acting radius. So the goal of the acting radius is to say the center radius is to present if you step in this area highlighted in red, this turret is going to try to get you. We can manipulate this on the right using this stuff right here. So we are going to change some of the stuff to make it more interesting. So we are going to go ahead and take a look at the turret. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the sliders. Sliders. Uh, um, we're going to take a look at the turret itself, and we're going to showcase some stuff here. We have the enemy health strip. This is going to tell you, hey, this is the enemy. We're going to use statistics to change and manipulate the numbers. So this turret has, let's say, um, a max health of 25. Now I know that's low, but for the reasons of this tutorial, I want to make it easier to deal with so that you can see, hey, this is how this works. Okay? Now, we also have UI and stuff. All right? Now we are going to change some other settings that we want to do. We can change the fire rate of, like, let's say two, three, three bullets per attempt and stuff like that. So we can do that as well. All right. So we are also going to look at the turret itself. Let's take a look at the layer here for the for this. We're gonna see where is the range here. So here, basic settings, detection range. We're gonna say 10. That red circle drops to 10 circle. And remember, it's a radius of 10. So it's a circle. So only if you hit that particular range is it going to start attacking you. Let's say that we're going to go ahead and put it next to high and next to this target right here. So I'm going to put this down. So this guy is like protecting these two, which makes sense when you think about it. It's also trying to protect this weapon. Actually, now that we have the turret, let's actually make it more difficult to grab this weapon. Okay? We're also going to have, let's say, let's make another cube. Let's resize this. Let's resize this higher. And then we're going to move this cube up. But we're also going to have it right here too. And we're going to resize. The idea here is to make it harder to grab this weapon. Because now we have the turret. Okay, let's see what we got. Is it touching the ground? Yes, okay. So now let me see the turret thing here. No, it's a little off. Let's put this to 15. So this should be high enough to, yeah. So if I move this turret around, the thing is gonna. So now I'm making it harder for you to grab the SMG. Let's try it. Well, not too hard, obviously. So as you guys can see, I'm not in the range yet. Now I am. So I made it a little bit harder to grab the SMG. That thing is still firing because I'm still in range. I can grab this, attack this guy, and kaboom. So I made it a little bit harder to grab the SMG, but not too hard. And then we have the explosive barrel. Kaboom. So that explosive barrel is done. But there's more we can show off. Um, the next thing I want to show off is this box. So this box is a non-fractured crate. Okay, there is nothing inside. Okay, there is nothing inside here. Oops. There is nothing inside of this crate. Okay, however, I will put something inside this crate. We're gonna be putting a coin inside of this crate. Now, what is this coin for? Now, thanks to the added inventory and save shopping add-on, which you can purchase separately, you can now have a shop. If I decide to buy the add-on, I'll show you guys how to use it as part of this tutorial series. So now we have this crate. This crate also has a box collider, very important. We're gonna save and we're gonna try it. Why is a box collider very important? A box collider prevents you from going inside of the object. Oh, okay. I was not expecting that it was gonna go that hard, that hard. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna go ahead and move this target right here. We're gonna move high over here. We're gonna move the turret. The turret. Let's move the turret over here because the goal now is to protect this treasure. The treasure that we just made is the coin, right? Technically speaking. Okay, so and we can let me just make sure that we cannot like accidentally collect the coin. Okay. Okay. Okay, now what I want to do is I am going to add a wall. We're gonna add a wall. Right around here. This wall is going to prevent you from grabbing this coin easily. But for you to get to the coin, you always have to go to the turret. You always have to go to this target, which I'm going to manipulate and add another one. Now remember, this acts like a wall too, because the turret cannot hit allies for some reason. And then I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to add another one. Here's the deal. I didn't put the coin in this one. So it's a fake box. Okay, let's play. Let's try it. So the thing is attacking me. Okay. We're gonna take out the turret. And there's the coin. Now I do understand that the box does move. But I will have to figure out how to do a better thing like that. But the good news is there's another way. And that way is called this guy, the loot box. And I know loot boxes, oh boo, you have to pay for these. No, you don't have to pay for these at all. Because the moment you hear loot box, you know, oh no, we're gonna do a loot box again. Don't worry. I want to show you how this works. So on the loot box free prefab, you're gonna notice on the right side, the loot box area interactable, you're going to notice a few things we need to talk about. The loot box also has a loot box item area, your loot box free. So what is the loot box? Loot. Press the left arrow on loot and you're going to see the following. Now keep in mind that all the elements are possible items you can grab. Loot box stands for loot box. It is random. However, to make it more simple, we're going to remove all the elements except we're going to add a coin. Oops, don't replace. We're going to add a coin instead. So automatically there's going to be a coin because I already placed the coin in there. We're going to save it and we are going to play it. Just so that we can see if we did it correctly. By the way, you can also use controller on this. And I got my coin. I got now 147 coin. Okay? But that's not all. You can manipulate the coin as well. Now, here's how you manipulate the coin. Keep in mind that this coin is random double. If you have more items in the loot box, you might not get the coin. You'll know if you get the coin if the thing lights up yellow. Now, the thing you want to look out for. Let's say we have a standalone coin. You just drag this guy up here. Here is what's going to happen. Now, you're going to notice on the right, you have coin strip. You're going to notice a few things. The min coins and the max coin. You can manipulate this to where you can determine what is the max coin allowed, minimum amount of coins allowed for this standalone coin. And let's just say that you are very stingy, and we're gonna say the minimum coins is 1, the max coins is 5. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste this coin in particular, and that's gonna be 1 to 5. So the max amount you can collect from those two coins in particular is 10, because by random. Okay, this coin inside, this coin inside. If we take a look at it from the inspector without manipulating, this is going to be 100 to 200. If you make it stand alone, you are allowed to manipulate. If you put it into the loot box, then it's up to you on how to manipulate that. Keep in mind, if you drag this from the 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 file, you are going to go by default. If you want to inspect it and make it your own, you can. Let me show you guys how that works in play mode. So we're gonna collect the coin. So I believe I got 2 coins. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you guys. We're gonna also look at the HUD. Oh yeah, I got 2 coins. I'm gonna do that again though. I want to run it a few times so that you can see what is the amount we got. We got 5. All right, we're gonna retry again. We're gonna try again. We have 2 coins, so 1 and 1. Let's try again. Let's see if we can get another number. Also another 1, another 1 1. Let's try again. This time 3 and 1, 4. So it's always random, RNG. So I could have had a total of 10, but I only got 4 because of the fact that you manipulated the numbers. And that's okay. And that's what game development sometimes is about. Can you manipulate the numbers to make it fair to your game? Maybe a loot box can have a coin for 10 or 25. It's up to you. Then when you do the shop, you can determine, hey, is this enough for this particular item? All right. If we get to the point where we're gonna do the shop inventory plugin, when if I have enough to spend for that, we're going to add that to the series to make it more of a complete series. Okay. But for this one, I just wanted to give you guys the basics. Next tutorial is going to be either on Thursday or next weekend, next Tuesday. We're going to be focusing in more on the the other prefabs, and then we're going to start programming the objective one, and then we're going to start like really diving deep into this asset. Okay. If you guys are interested in gaming news, join us tonight at 9:45 on TikTok. We'll be talking a lot about Xbox this week. We also have a story about Nintendo to talk about. And also on Retro Yuki Gaming on YouTube, our new gaming channel. I'm going to start doing gaming news on that channel as well. For tutorials, if you guys want to check out other tutorials I have on YouTube, it's always on the Retro Yuki channel, and I'm going to be placing them on my website as well. That's it for now for the FPS Engine. We'll see you guys next week for this another tutorial. Tomorrow we have Mario on Yuki Mario World. Enjoy, and Cowsins, thank you again for allowing me to do this tutorial for this series.